Yep.
You want to read the notice of the
Certainly.
special meeting?
Okay, notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given.
Oh, hey, Bill.
Don't notice a special meeting?
Yes, notice of special meeting. Sorry, yes, notice of special
We
meeting.
got a public hearing might come up later. So.
Notice is hereby given that upon the call of the supervisor, a special workshop meeting of the town board of the town of Brunswick will be held on Monday, May 9th, 2022, commencing at 7 p.m. at the Brunswick Town Hall, 336 Town Office Road, in the town of Brunswick, New York, for the following purposes: to consider reports from the town code enforcement officer and the town designated licensed professional engineer stating that a certain fence owned by Barry Thompson, now being constructed on a lot located at 383 North Lake Avenue in the town of Brunswick, is unsafe and dangerous pursuant to Town of Brunswick Local Law Number 3 of the year 2012, entitled The Unsafe Buildings, Structures, Equipment, and Signs Law of the Town of Brunswick, also designated as Chapter 59 of the Town Code of the Town of Brunswick. And to consider the adoption of a resolution and order in accordance with Section 59-5 and Section 59-6 of the Town Code of the Town of Brunswick, determining that the said fence is dangerous and unsafe, directing that said fence be secured and repaired or demolished and removed, directing that the securing or removal of the fence be commenced within 20 days after the service of notice on the owner of the property upon which the fence is located, and completed within 45 days thereafter, scheduling a public hearing before the town board to further consider the unsafe fence and the order to secure and repair or demolish and remove the same, and directing such further appropriate relief as provided in Section 59-6 of the Town Code of the Town of Brunswick. This was dated on May 5th, 2022. It's posted on the website, town bulletin board, forwarded to the Eastwick Press. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, this is a special meeting which I had called to consider a matter under the unsafe building, structures, equipment, and site law of the town of Brunswick, which was enacted by local law number 2 of the town of Brunswick for year 2012 and codified as chapter 59 of the town code of the town of Brunswick. The matter under consideration is a structure, specifically a wooden fence, approximately 9 feet 6 inches in height, which has been constructed on premises owned by Barry Thompson and located at 383 North Lake Avenue in the town of Brunswick. Essentially, under section 59-4 of the town code, when the town code officer, enforcement officer determines or has before him information that a structure or building in the town is or may become unsafe, he is to perform an inspection and prepare a report of his findings and present it to the town board, including an architect or engineering report pertaining to the structure that he has caused to be repaired. The town board then considers the report and makes a determination by resolution whether the structure is or may become unsafe and dangerous, and if so, orders that it be secured and repaired to make it safe or demolished and removed. That's the purpose of this particular meeting. We have before us a report from Mr. Golden, our code enforcement officer, dated November 9th, 2021. Together with a report dated October 4th, 2021 from Wayne E. Bonesteel, PE, who was then employed by Collier Engineering and Design and was designated by the town as a consultant engineer to provide his findings, conclusions, and recommendations as to the safety of this structure. Inasmuch as this matter has been ongoing for some time, we determined it appropriate to have a follow-up inspection conducted. An inspection report for the fence as currently constructed prepared by consultant engineer Bonesteel and building inspector Golden, which was done on May 3rd, 2022 and May 4th, 2022. Taken together, these reports conclude that the fence as currently constructed is unsafe within the meaning of our town local law, particularly with respect to wind load resistance and inadequate connection plate fastening. These reports further conclude that if not repaired, the fence will become further unsafe over time by frost action on the already installed fence posts, which were not placed below the anticipated frost depth for this region, and by the cumulative effects of the wind loads on the fence over a period of time. We also have before us stamped engineering plans prepared by Nolan Engineering, PLLC, an engineering firm which was engaged by Barry Thompson, the owner of the fence, which is specifically how the safety issues identified in the town's inspection report with respect to the fence must be addressed and corrected so as to make it safe and secure. Those plans have been reviewed by the code enforcement officer and the town designated engineer, and both concur that the plan submitted by Mr. Thompson, engineering consultant, would, if fully implemented, address the town safety concerns. At this point, in view of the above, I believe we are prepared to move forward in this matter as provided for under the unsafe structure law. We have a resolution prepared by our attorneys, which set forth in as much greater detail than the entire report of this matter, and also incorporates copies of the report referred to above. Although certain, this is all right here. Right? Yeah. Now, at this point, I'll ask the board if the board has any questions.
Yeah, so, and at some point, the court should read, the resolution should be read aloud as well.
I don't know if the board has any questions for Mr. Goldsdale or Mr. Gold. Having none, move the resolution. Have a rest.
Yeah, don't know, do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
I can,
Resolution number 39, 2022, Town of Brunswick Special Meeting, May 9, 2022. Resolution pursuant to section 59.5 of the Brunswick Town Code determining that a structure is or may become unsafe, ordering it to be secured and repaired, and directing that notice be served upon the owner. Whereas Chapter 59 of the Code of the Town of Brunswick contains regulations and procedures for addressing unsafe buildings, structures, equipment, and sites located within the Town of Brunswick. And whereas in accordance with said Chapter 59 of the Brunswick Town Code, the Code Enforcement Officer pursuant to Section 59.4, having completed an inspection and prepared a written report in connection with a structure located at 383 North Lake Avenue, Princeton County Tax Map number 90-2-1-11, consisting of a wooden fence approximately 9 foot 6 inches in height, with record owner identified as Barry M. Thompson, hereinafter Thompson, in which he found and determined that said fence is or may become unsafe with respect to wind load resistance and inadequate connection plate fastening. With a copy of said report of the Code Enforcement Officer dated November 9, 2021, together with a copy of the Town Consulting Engineer report prepared by Wade E. Bone Steel, P.E. Colliers Engineering and Design, dated October 4, 2021, consistent with the findings and recommendations of the Code Enforcement Officer, are annexed here to as Exhibit A and made a part of this resolution. And whereas such Code Enforcement Officer report was presented to the Town of Brunswick Town Board, hereinafter Town Board, at its meeting held November 11, 2021. And whereas the Code Enforcement Officer thereafter continued his administrative efforts with Thompson to have the safety issues identified with respect to the fence addressed and repairs completed. And whereas Thompson submitted a stamped engineering plan to the town of Brunswick, prepared by Nolan Engineering PLLC and dated 12/2/2021 to address the identified safety issues with respect to the fence. And whereas such Nolan Engineering plan was reviewed by the code enforcement officer and the town consulting engineer and found to adequately respond to the safety issues identified with respect to the fence. And whereas Thompson did not proceed at that time to complete the securing and repair of the fence as set forth in the Nolan Engineering plan. And whereas the code enforcement officer continued his administrative efforts to have Thompson commence and complete the securing and repair of the fence as set forth in the Nolan Engineering plan. And whereas Thompson thereafter informed the code enforcement officer that he sought to substitute the post material to be used in the repair of the fence, to wit, to substitute the use of 6-inch by 6-inch emerald post for the 6-inch by 6-inch pressure treated post shown on the Nolan Engineering plan as an equivalent substitute. And whereas the code enforcement officer required the submission of a stamped engineering plan identifying the proposed material substitution. And whereas Thompson submitted the stamped engineering plan prepared by Nolan Engineering PLLC, but still dated 12/2/2021 without notation of a revision date, but now showing the proposed 6-inch by 6-inch hemlock post as an equivalent substitute for the 6-inch by 6-inch pressure treated post. And whereas such revised Nolan Engineering plan was reviewed by the code enforcement officer and town consulting engineer and found to adequately respond to the safety issues identified with respect to the fence. And whereas Thompson commenced the repair of the fence by first installing additional 6-inch by 6-inch wood posts with galvanized metal post supports and handle connectors with screws as shown on the revised Nolan Engineering plan, but not having yet installed the 16-inch diameter concrete piers depicted on the revised Nolan Engineering plan. And whereas further inspection of such repair work on the fence having been conducted by the code enforcement officer and town consulting engineer on May 3, 2022, and a written report having been prepared by the code enforcement officer dated May 4, 2022, together with a copy of the town consulting engineer's report dated May 3, 2022, and with such supplemental reports having been presented to the town board, copies of which are annexed hereto as Exhibit B and made part of this resolution. And whereas the town board pursuant to section 59.5 of the town code, and having carefully reviewed the above-mentioned expert report and the findings, conclusions, and recommendations therein contained, and has considered the status of these proceedings, and is determined to move forward with the procedure set forth under Chapter 59 of the Brunswick Town Code with respect to unsafe structures. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Brunswick in special session duly convened as follows. 1. The town board of the town of Brunswick is hereby find and determined as follows. A. The report of the code enforcement officer dated November 9, 2021, and the town consulting engineer report prepared by Rainey Gonsteel, P.E., dated October 4, 2021, find that the fence located at the subject premises is or may become unsafe as contemplated in Chapter 59 of the Brunswick Town Code. B, that based upon such reports, the said structure located at 383 North Lake Avenue, Rensselaer County Tax Map number 90-2-1-11, consisting of a wooden fence approximately 9 feet 6 inches in height, the record owner of which is Barry M. Thompson, is or may become unsafe, and that such structure must be made secure and repaired in full compliance with the stamped engineering plan prepared by Nolan Engineering PLLC and submitted by Barry M. Thompson to the town of Brunswick, bearing initial date of 12/2/21 and as revised as here and above described. 2, based upon such findings and in consideration thereof, the town board does hereby order as follows. A, that the structure located at 383 North Lake Avenue, Rensselaer County Tax Map number 90-2-1-11, consisting of a wooden fence approximately 9 foot 6 inches in height, with record owner of Barry M. Thompson, shall be made secure and repaired by the owner in full compliance with the stamped engineering plan prepared by Nolan Engineering PLLC and bearing initial date of 12/2/21 and as revised and described here and above. Or in the event such securing and repair work is not completed, that such structure shall be removed. B, that a written notice of the above findings in order of this town board, prepared in accordance with 59(6) of the Brunswick Town Code in the form hereto annexed as Exhibit C, shall be served forthwith on the owner of said structure as provided in Section 59(7) of the Brunswick Town Code. C, that the securing and repair of said structure upon the subject premises has heretofore been commenced by the owner of such structure and shall be completed thereby within 45 days after service of said notice, or in the event such securing and repair is not so completed, that such structure shall be removed within such 45-day period. D, a public hearing shall be conducted by this town board on the, you have to fill in a date, gentlemen.
Thursday? This Thursday.
Pardon me?
This Thursday? Probably couldn't get in time.
No,
we
we can't
no
do
way
it.
we can get in on
What did
time.
we say, the 20, there's a Thursday,
During the week of, I think, the 23rd, Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, the 26th. It does, under the code, need to be in at least 10 days notice.
so, there would be, I guess Thursday the 26th, Wednesday the 26th, I'm sorry, the 25th, Tuesday the 24th. Just keep in mind that it's,
Holiday weekend, right?
it's Memorial Day weekend. So I don't think, there's no planning board meeting on that Thursday.
No.
No.
That would be the 26th.
Board? 6 o'clock.
I can do Thursday, the 26th.
Okay with me.
Thursday, what time?
6
6
o'clock.
o'clock?
So on the, let me see, the 26th.
26, yeah.
26th day of May
6:30?
at,
We do 6:30?
We can do 6:30 too.
at 6:30. Okay,
Okay.
so are we set on that?
Yeah.
So a public hearing shall be conducted by this town board on the 26th day of May 2022 at 6:30 PM at the Brunswick Town Office, 336 Town Office Road, Schroeder, New York, 12180, regarding such unsafe structure, the reports issued in connection therewith, and the order to secure and repair of the same. E, that in the event said structure is not secured and repaired or removed is here in order, this town board shall provide for and cause the said structure to be so secured and repaired or demolished and removed in the event such securing and repair cannot be completed, and cause the cost and expenses incurred in connection therewith to be assessed against the land upon which said structure is located as provided in Section 59(9) and Section 59(11) of the Brunswick Town Code. You want to take over from there, Bill?
Okay.
I guess if there's discussion or anything.
Yeah, I got a question. Question for Chuck. Hey, Chuck, is this fence constructed right on the property line?
There's approximately 2 foot.
2 foot?
Between the residents of 117 Woodlawn Court.
Can the fence be worked on without permission from Fenley? I mean, is there enough?
Within the 2 foot, there's been incidences where the fennels have called the police for trespassing.
That's why I understood it. You went out, tried to work on a fence, and they called and said they're trespassing or whatever. So my question is,
Were they?
can they work on the fence without being on their property? That's the question.
They're gonna have to. Don't see where there's any choice in the matter at this point unless.
The town can't order fennel to allow somebody on the property, so that means there's an illegal fence. Mr. Thompson's property. So I'm just trying to figure out.
The fence is on the property 383, and there's a 2 foot buffer.
So there's a 2 foot buffer?
Yeah,
So does a 2 foot buffer allow the fence to get repaired? I wonder. That's what needs to get determined, I guess.
if you're gonna lean a ladder against it, no. Where you foot the ladder is gonna be farther out. You go up 9 foot 6.
Fennels, they're under no pressure to allow anybody on their property.
No, it would be.
So that means you got an unsafe structure here that's gotta be repaired. So
It would be good,
That's a
and
concern.
if they're concerned about the safety of the structure, to simply allow the repairs to be done, and that would be safe.
Okay, I was just wondering how much room was there or whatever. So. Bill, any other questions? No.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
Bill?
I'll just reread that quickly, just the top part of it. This is resolution number 39 of 2022. Resolution pursuant to section 59.5 of the Brunswick Town Code determining that the structure is or may become unsafe, ordering it to be secured and repaired, and directing that notice be served upon the owner. Need somebody to offer that?
I'll second.
Foregoing resolution was offered by Councilman Christian, second by Councilman Sullivan. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Ballasteri.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
Resolution is adopted.
All right, is that it?
Yes,
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
oh,
sorry.
you just need to deal with the notice.
So once the resolution in order was approved, as you just did, the local law does require that a notice be executed by the town clerk. We have that in form that was attached to the resolution as an exhibit. And once executed, served on the property owner in advance of the hearing. It has to be at least 10 days before the hearing. He set the hearing at May 26. So if we can, we'll have the town clerk execute the notice and for Mr. Thompson. Yeah, we can serve Mr. Thompson tonight, and then we'll be in compliance with the service, and then we'll notice the hearing as well.
Then it'll be a public hearing, correct?
That's correct. The law does describe it as a public hearing. Bill?
May 26th.
Right. Can I have you just execute right here?
You already filled that in.
Why don't you, if you could, just put your initials up where I filled that in at the top. Excellent. Thank you. So we'll let the record know that as attorney for the town, I am going to serve Mr. Thompson with the order that's been executed by the town clerk tonight. It does note that the hearing will be held May 26th at 6:30 PM before this town board here at the town office, 336 Town Office Road, and I'm hereby serving Mr. Thompson.
Now we can ask a motion to adjourn.
Yes, I believe so. I don't think there's anything else.
I'll make the motion.
Andy made a motion, or Lori made a motion.
Second.
I'll second, or
Mark did. Mark.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Hey, Wiener. Please.
He's injured, he can't walk.
It's a shut off.
I think I can use a JLG lift to get off the motor. I take a JLG lift over.
Yeah, still on.
If I get trespassing, charged, where do I go?